I want to bring in CTV's BC Bureau Chief, Andrew Johnson, who is live for us in Tumbler Ridge this morning. Andrew, yesterday CTV reported 25 injuries in the shooting, 9 deaths, including the suspect, 18-year-old Jesse Van Watsler. What are the updates this morning on the conditions of those injured? What have you learned overnight?
Well, Marcia, there's been a lot of focus on the girl the Premier mentioned, 12-year-old Maya Edmonds, who was airlifted to Vancouver Children's Hospital. The family was posting online. They were first told she wasn't expected to survive the first night in hospital after being shot in the head at school. There is no update yet today on her condition. One other child was airlifted to hospital, also in very serious condition. Those are the two most acutely injured we're aware of. A lot of the students who were treated at the scene among the 25 actually suffered minor injuries, thankfully, or were hit by blood or things like that, and they were being checked out. I mean, that just speaks to the absolute gruesome scene again at their school. Most of the children who died at school died in the library. I mean, speaking of places you expect to feel safe, in a small town, in the library of your high school, and that's where this happens, and speaks to how difficult it is for people to grasp this actually happened. It did, and now they're doing their very best to deal with it in these early hours.
Yeah, I'm struck by that woman, the clip of that woman who said they moved there because things like this don't happen there in Tumbler Ridge. As we're starting to learn the timeline of the tragedy, I know that you have spoken with some of the families directly impacted. What did they say to you?
Well, you're referencing the stepmom of 12-year-old Kylie Smith. She was killed in the shooting. She was 3 months away from her 13th birthday. She loved the arts and anime and was actually hoping to one day study in Toronto. Of course, those dreams all dashed, and that family absolutely devastated. The message for them was really, they said they were speaking out to the media to get Kylie's story out, to get the story out about these amazing kids, and try to take the focus off of the shooter, which is what they were seeing so much online. I think we've actually got a comment from Kylie's dad, Lance Young, to that effect we can listen to now.
I want to put someone's picture up on the news, put Maddie's picture up, put my daughter's picture up, and Takaria and Abel and Ezekiel and Maya, who's still fighting for her life. Put all their pictures up. Let's stop giving this psychopath the recognition, because these kids were lost before they got to become teenagers. So let's put their pictures up, please, and remember them, not this murderer.
You heard it mention the name Maddie there. This family told us that they actually waited for hours to find out what had happened to their daughter. They hadn't heard from her. They were at a community center near the school where people were gathering and waiting. They had no word from police. Hours later, finally, they got a knock on their door from a teenager named Maddie who attended the school with their daughter, Kylie. And it was Maddie who informed them Kylie didn't make it after Maddie herself had tried to perform CPR, they said, for up to 45 minutes inside the school. So you have stories of teenagers trying to save a 12-year-old's life, blood everywhere, a kind of scene that's just so difficult to imagine. And the families are just trying to hold each other up right now. There was the candlelight vigil last night, people physically supporting each other, huddled in the cold with candles. Everyone in Tumbler Ridge says they are connected. They're one big family. And with the help of many resources that have come into town, mental health resources, trauma counselors, investigators, the hotels are full. People converging on Tumbler Ridge to try to do everything they can right now.
Oh, Andrew. So let's talk about the investigation. RCMP have identified the suspect. Where does the investigation go from here in terms of a motive?
Yeah, that is the big question, and people are asking those questions of officials who are saying this is going to take time. Questions related to the mental health of the shooter, Jesse Van Watsler. Police say they were familiar with Jesse. They had been called to the family home multiple times over mental health related issues. Van Watsler had been apprehended under the Mental Health Act and taken to the hospital before. Weapons had been seized from that home and then returned. So there are a lot of questions about what happened in the past leading up to this, whether the adequate mental health supports were available in a small town for someone who was clearly struggling, and motive. Why were those particular students targeted? Were they randomly targeted at the school that police say the shooter had dropped out of years ago? And before going to the school, of course, the shooter's mother and 11-year-old stepbrother were shot. So there are a lot of questions still about that. Of course, the shooter is dead. It's going to take some time for police to piece that together. And they're saying in the short term, and that's what we're hearing from the premier last night in Tumbler Ridge as well, everyone is trying to just focus on the victims, the survivors, those children clinging to life in hospital, and we'll need to be patient to learn more about why someone would do something like this.
Andrew Johnson for us. Andrew reporting live from Tumbler Ridge this morning. Andrew, thank you for all of that reporting.